Welcome to this course on how to create a portfolio website from scratch. This is the perfect course for photographers, designers, or anyone else who would like to showcase their work online or even find new customers through their website. My name is Hoku Ho. I'm the instructor, and in this course I'll be showing you how to create this exact website that you're looking at from scratch, and we're going to do everything step by step so that you can see exactly how it's done. In this website you'll be able to add individual photos or graphics that you've created. You'll also be able to add photo albums or photo galleries of posts with more than just one image. We'll also be able to categorize these different images. So for instance, let's click on this beach category, and here we'll see just the images that have been added to this category. You'll also be able to add a search bar so that if your visitors are looking for a specific thing, they can use that search bar to find it. In addition, we'll add some pages like an About Me page or a Contact Me or Get in Touch page where you can put your info and even add a contact form. This site is also completely responsive, so it will look good on any screen, tablet, or smartphone. You can see the layout changes to fit the width of the screen. And we'll even add some special customization for mobile users. So this is an emulation of what the site will look like on iPhone 6 Plus. And you can see here at the bottom we have this little bar with this custom call now and email buttons to make it really easy for mobile users to get in touch with us and hopefully hire us. So this is the site we'll be creating in the course, and best of luck. Before we can start customizing our website, we first need to get it live on the internet. And there are three main things we need to do to get our website all set up on the internet so that we can begin customizing it. First of all, we need to register a domain name. And a domain name is just an address. So facebook.com, that is an address that directs people to Facebook's website. So after we register a domain name, we then need to set up web hosting. And web hosting is, think of it as a remote computer that stores all of your content. So when we are putting images and videos, any type of content on our website, those things need to be stored somewhere. And web hosting is just basically renting a remote computer so we can store our content on there so that when people visit our website, they're able to view all of our content. After that, we will need to install WordPress. And once we install WordPress, we can then start customizing the site with WordPress. And luckily for us, WordPress is 100% free to use. So once we do these three things, we'll have our website live on the internet and ready to start customizing. One of the first things you're going to need to do when you're building a website is register a domain name. And a domain name is just an address to take you to a website. So if we want to go to Facebook's website, for instance, up here we type in facebook.com. So this right here highlighted is their domain name, and it's just the address that takes us to their website. So you need a specific, unique address to take people to your website, and that's what the domain name is. So domain names you can register. They usually cost about $10 a year. You can register from places like Namecheap, GoDaddy, 1&1. I've used all three of those services. Namecheap, in my opinion, is the best. It's cheap, really easy to use. And for any of those services, they usually have a bar where you can put in the domain name you want, and you can check to see if it's available or not. So let's say I want to buy hokuswebsite.com. Hit search. As you can see, hokuswebsite.com is available, so if I wanted to, I could just buy it right now. And as far as picking a name, don't spend too much time or money trying to get the exact name that you want. Really, if you have a good website, if you have good content, people are going to visit it, people are going to remember it regardless of what your name is. So don't worry too much about the actual domain name. Here are a few basic pointers though. if you can, try to keep it short. So instead of saying Hoku's new awesome website, well, since Hoku's website is already available, I may as well choose the shorter one. It'll be easier for people to remember. Try to avoid hyphens. That's kind of tacky, and I've heard it's not good for SEO purposes. And try to get the .com if you can, but it's not that big of a deal if you aren't able to get the .com. When I wanted to build my site Well Gifted, I went to wellgifted.com and saw that someone already had it, and I was using GoDaddy at the time. And so I checked on GoDaddy, and I saw, it's up for auction. So this would have cost me about $3,000. So I was like, well, what other options do I have? And I saw wellgifted.co, .co was available for $10. So I got wellgifted.co, and it was only $10. And I'm pretty sure it hasn't had any effect on traffic, having the .co versus the .com. And if you look at Vine, for instance, obviously a very popular website, they don't have the vine.com. They only have the .co, and I don't think it's made any difference for them. They've been pretty successful. One thing to remember, make sure you don't put a company's name in your actual website. I registered a domain. It was, I can't exactly remember what it was, but it had the actual WordPress in it. It was like learnwordpress.com, something to that effect. And I wasn't able to use that domain name because it had WordPress in it. So when you're picking a domain name, just make sure you're not using someone's copyright, because you'll probably get a cease and desist letter and you'll have to change your domain name. So do some Google searches, make sure there's no companies out there with your same name. Check obviously similar domain names. So for instance, with wellgifted.com, I did some Google searches for Wellgifted to see if there was a company called Wellgifted, and I didn't find anything. So even though the domain name was taken, there wasn't a company called Wellgifted. So I felt good using wellgifted.co. So what do you do if your domain name is not available? You can't use a CO for some reason. You have to have this exact domain name. Again, I highly recommend you just find a different name or try to use a .me, .co, something like that. But if for whatever reason that's not an option, you can either click here, and other similar sites, GoDaddy, have a similar feature where you can make an offer to buy the domain name from whoever owns it. You can put whatever amount you want, but they do charge a $30 fee to use this service. You can also use whois.domaintools.com to track down the owner of a domain name, and this is free to use, so probably the better option. So let's say I wanted to buy hoku.com. I can just search it in here, and then here at the top it gives me a number of emails of people that I can contact to try to find the owner and negotiate a price if I want to buy this domain name. So you may have to send a couple of emails, send it to a certain person, and then they say, oh, actually you should be talking to this person. So you have to send a couple emails before you actually get the owner. But overall, whois.domaintools.com is a great resource in helping you track down the owner of a domain to purchase it. But again, if at all possible, I highly recommend that you should try to find a different domain so you don't have to go through this whole process and spend who knows how much money trying to buy an exact domain. So first thing you're going to want to do is go to namecheap.com, and there's a link in the description of the video for Namecheap you can go to as well. Then just put in your domain right here in the search bar. Hit search. And Namecheap is a really great website for domains because one, they're really cheap, and two, it's really easy to use. Okay, so make sure it's available, then just add it to cart. Once it's added, view cart. So you can get it for multiple years. I just want one, and you can turn on or off auto renew at any time, so I could turn that off later if I want. And this is a free year and doesn't auto renew. Awesome. And any of this stuff, if you want it, go for it, but I usually just want the domain, nothing else. So I'll hit confirm order. And then if you don't have an account, just go ahead and fill that out and hit create account and continue. Now just some additional information you have to fill out. I'm going to do it as an individual. And yeah, so just go ahead and fill all that stuff out and hit continue. So now just go ahead and make sure this is the right contact information, and if you need to change it for some reason, maybe billing's different, then go ahead and do that. If not, you can just, if you want to save this for later, and then hit continue. Then you're gonna put in your credit card information and make sure your billing address is correct. And this is automatically on the right setting, so you don't even have to click any of that. You can make this your default payment, and then just hit continue again. Okay, so you can just review your order real quick. Looks all good. So that's it. Just hit pay now and you're done. If you want to make your own website, you're going to need web hosting. And I'm going to explain to you what that is using Pinterest. So after uploading this picture from your computer to Pinterest, you could actually delete the picture from your computer and everyone would still be able to see it on Pinterest. That's because once you upload it to Pinterest, it's actually stored on Pinterest's computers. And these computers that are used to store web content are called servers. This is a picture of a typical server rack. And so for your website, you're going to have pictures, text, you might have videos, all sorts of different content. And that too needs to be stored on a server. So you could either buy your own server and set it up yourself, but that's pretty complicated. So what most people do is they simply rent a space on someone else's servers. And this is called web hosting because they are hosting your web content on their servers. So go to hostgator.com, and I'll put a link in the description. And HostGator makes it really easy to get started right away, and it's very cheap. So that's why I like HostGator. Click Get Started Now. And then if you scroll down here, the different plans. Hatchling plan is a little bit cheaper than Baby plan, but with Baby, you can put as many domains as you want onto this one plan. And so for that reason, I think the Baby plan is the best. You can buy a couple years in advance or go monthly. So let's just do monthly for now and hit sign up now. So you can buy your domain through HostGator. So let's say my name's Hoku, so I want to buy hokuswebsite.com. And it's about $13 a year if you buy it through HostGator. Namecheap.com is actually a few dollars cheaper, so you could buy it through another service. If you were to buy it through another service, just hit I already own this domain, and then put it in. You're going to need a username and PIN number, and this will auto-populate correctly. You don't need to touch that. You'll need to put in your billing information. These I do not believe are necessary, so you can uncheck them. If you really feel the need, then leave them checked. And there's a preloaded 20% off coupon. So this is 20% off your first bill, though. So if you see, it's usually $10 a month, but they're going to give it to you for $8 for the first month, for the first bill. So if you scroll up, see right here, it's January currently, so the second month, February, it goes back to $10 a month. So they've actually hooked us up with a better coupon. You type in build without code 1, you're going to see this discount jump up, validate. So it went from $2 to almost $10. So your first bill would only be 1 cent. Then after that, it goes back to the regular $10 a month. However, if you want to get an even bigger discount, you can, but you'd have to pay more in advance. So let's put this to 12 months. So this is if you were to buy 12 months in advance, you'd still get that same $10 discount with this code. But if you do build without code, with no one, just build without code, hit validate, this is actually a 25% off discount. So it's 25% off your first payment. If you're buying a year in advance, then it's 25% off this amount, which adds up to almost $30 off. And the ultimate discount is the same coupon code, the 25% off your first payment. So you can see in the second year it goes to back to $10 a month, but that's not for a whole year. The ultimate discount would be buying 3 years in advance, 36 months, 25% off. That amount is almost $70. So that's how you would save the most money, but obviously the downside is you'd have to pay in advance. So if you want to do monthly, I would do the bill without code 1, and there you go, it'll be just 1 cent. But if you don't care about paying in advance, then I would say pay in advance in 3 years obviously is how you're going to get the most off, and have just bill without code, that 25% off your first payment, and that's how you'll save the most money. And so obviously you have to pay more up front. There is, however, a 45-day money-back guarantee. So let's say you pay 3 years in advance, and after a month you realize you don't need the website anymore. You see right here, every web hosting plan comes with a 45-day money-back guarantee. So you could actually get a refund if you want to within 45 days, even if you do buy 3 years up front. So that's how you get the cheapest hosting possible. And once you decide on your hosting plan, fill all that stuff out, just hit here and hit checkout now, and you're done. You'll get an email with your account information. However, it does sometimes go to spam, so check your spam folder. Now that you have your domain name and web hosting set up, let's go ahead and connect everything together. So go to namecheap.com and then just sign into your account. When you sign in, it will take you to your dashboard, and then just click on the domain name that you want to hook up to your web hosting. Just click Manage on the right, and then up here on the right, click on Advanced DNS. Here on the top row, domain name server type, it's set to Namecheap default. Let's just hit Edit here on the right, and then click on Custom. And now after clicking on Custom, we now have these fields where we can put in name server 1, name server 2. And so if we just hop over to that HostGator email that we got, it has right here name server 1, and name server 2. Then just hit Save Changes. Let's install WordPress, and we'll get your site live on the internet. So go to this HostGator email you got with your account information, and right here where it says your control panel, let's click on that link. It's going to ask for a username and password, and these come from the email. So username right here, so just copy this. Copy this password right here. Paste it and log in. It's going to take you to your control panel for HostGator. Here in the control panel, I can either click right here where it says Get Started with WordPress Today, or if you scroll down a little bit, Software and Services, Quick Install. Both of those will take you to the same place. Just click on that. And now if we scroll down, Install WordPress, click that. Scroll down again, Install WordPress for free. They have some other things they're trying to sell, but all you need to do is click Install WordPress, install for free. And here it takes you, and so if you've never registered a domain before, or if you never, installed WordPress on a domain before, for the very first time, usually it will auto-populate in here. I have a ton of domains and subdomains, so I'm just going to pick the one that I want to install WordPress on. But it should auto-populate. If not, just use the drop-down and select the domain name that where you're going to install WordPress. Well, yeah, and again, if it's the first time, then you only have one. And in here, put an email, the blog title, which you will be able to change later. and then a username, and then your first and last name, and then just click install WordPress. And it is all complete. So click view credentials. And so this is how you get to the site you just installed WordPress on. So let's click on that. And so right here I can put in my username and password to log in and start editing it. And here's the username. So I'll put that in here. And then here's the password. And make sure you don't accidentally exit out of this browser or this tab or anything, so that you have the username and password. Although a lot of times they'll send you an email with this these credentials, but make sure you keep track of them so that you can log in. And then I'm just going to log in. And now WordPress is installed on my site, and this is now the admin area where I can customize my new WordPress site. When you first sign up for HostGator, they give you a random string of letters and numbers as your password. And when you first install WordPress, they do the same thing. They give you a random string of letters and numbers as your password. But you can change that to whatever you want. So I'm going to show you how to change your password for each of those things. So for HostGator, just log into your cPanel. And if you go to that email with your account info, if you click on this link to your cPanel and then just use your username and this password to log in. Once you're in, scroll down a tiny bit and under Preferences, click on Change Password. Then you're just going to input your old password from the email, copy that, paste it in here, and then put in your new password and repeat it. Leave these unchecked and hit Change Your Password Now, and you're all done for HostGator. For WordPress, you're just going to click on this link to get to your WordPress admin, and I've already clicked on that and put in the username from this screen. Then I'm going to get the password from this screen, paste it in here and hit login. Then I'm going to go to users and hit all users here on the left. There's my myself. I'm going to hit edit. Scroll down a little bit, and where it says new password, I'm going to put in my new password, repeat it, and then hit update profile, and you're all done. Now that you have your domain name and hosting and WordPress all set up, we can now begin customizing the website through WordPress. So once you're logged into your dashboard, here on the left you see plugins. Click on that. And plugins pretty much just add functionality to your website. So just like an app for your iPhone, an app helps you do extra things on your iPhone. A plugin helps you do extra things on your website. And you'll see if you've signed up through HostGator, you have some plugins that are preloaded. And some of these plugins are preloaded by HostGator, but they're not actually even useful. So for instance, HostGator Walk Me plugin and Mojo Marketplace are not useful, so I'm just going to deactivate them. So I just checked those two, go up here, deactivate, hit apply. So now I still have those plugins installed, but they're not active. But I don't even need them installed, just cluttery, so I'm just going to check both of these and come down here to delete and hit apply. And yes, delete these files. And now those plugins are completely deleted. One of the main ways we customize our site is by changing the look and feel of the site, kind of the overall skin. And so to do that, we have to go to themes. So here on the left, hover over appearance and then click on themes. And so themes is what really determines the look and feel of your website again. And there's paid themes, there's free themes. We're going to go ahead and get a free theme. So just click right here, add new theme. And then here in the search bar, the name of the theme we want to use is called Fukasawa. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. So type that in, hit enter. and you can click on it to have a live preview of kind of what it's going to look like with your current content. Unfortunately, we don't have any real content, just dummy content. So this is what it would look like with the dummy content, but we're going to make it look a lot different like that. We want to make it look more like this image with these different portfolio items showing kind of like Pinterest style. But this is what it will look like with our current content. So we're just going to go ahead and hit install and activate. And now if I click up here to see what our actual site looks like, it has the Fukasawa theme activated, but again it only has our dummy content in there. That's why it still looks pretty blank. But now we'll begin customizing this specific theme. Since this is a portfolio website, one of the main things we're going to be doing is adding a lot of different images. So whether it's for your photography website or graphic design, either way we want to display our images right here so that everyone can see our beautiful work. So let's go back to the dashboard, and then we're going to go to posts and then add new. And so this is how we add images, is through posts. And so you can see over here there's different formats of posts. We can do standard, gallery, image, video. If we want to add just a straight up image, we just click that right there, and let's give it a featured image. So down here where it says set featured image, this is where we're going to actually upload the actual image that we want to be displayed. So we'll click on featured image, select files, and we will get this picture of mountains here. It's a kind of a big image, so it takes a little bit to load. Okay, we'll click set featured image down here. So we have our actual image loaded, and then let's just give it a title, and we'll call this Blue Ridges. And one other thing, the last thing we're going to do is give it a category. And so we can add new category, and we'll call this category mountains. And so for any image or blog post in general that is checked with this category mountains, it will all be grouped together so that we can sort them later, or so that our users can easily sort any posts or images that are under the category mountains. So we have the title, we've put it to the right format of image, we've put it into a category, and we've put the actual image itself. So now let's just hit publish, and then we'll hit view post right here. And so here is the actual post, and if we go to the home page, we'll just click right here. Here we can see we have the thumbnail for this image. Now let's add some other images so you can see what it looks like with some other images here. I'm going to just zoom out real quick and then go back to dashboard, and we'll go to posts again, add new, and let's go get the image. So featured image, remember, upload files, select files, and we will get this picture of these trees. Okay, hit set featured image, and we'll just call this misty trees, and change it to image under format. And then so for categories, this will not go under the mountains category. We'll make its own category, and we'll call it forest. Add new, and so it's checked under forest. And so we have featured image, we have the category, the format, the title. So now we'll just hit publish and view post, and there's our image. It's in the right category. And if we come back to our home page, now we can see we have this other thumbnail. So we have the trees, and then we have these ridges, and then this dummy post that was came preloaded. As you may have noticed, for these blog posts, the only thing that's shown for the thumbnail is the featured image. The title is not shown, and that's because we changed the post format to just be image. And for this theme, when the format is under image, the thumbnail will only show the actual featured image and not the actual title. And the same goes for a description. So if we were to add a description to this post, let's edit it, or the body of the post. So let's add some text in there, hit update. Well, because it is set as format image, this theme doesn't show a thumbnail, or doesn't show anything but the featured image for the thumbnail. So even though we've added that description, just like the title, it's invisible, just shows the featured image. But if we were to click on it, then we can see, oh, here's the title, and then we can add any body text or description that we would like. In addition to the single image blog posts, we can also make a gallery, a blog post that contains multiple images. So this may be good for something, let's say, you take photos at a wedding and you want to upload the entire album, but you don't want every single photo to show up on the front page. You can create a gallery blog post where they'll have to actually click on the post to see the rest of the images. And we can change the format so it actually does show the title and maybe a little bit of a description so that people know it's not just a single image. So to create a gallery post, let's go to new and then post, and we'll create pretty much an album of pics from Los Angeles. So let's say we went on a little trip and we want to put all these into just one big gallery. We can put some words here in our description as well. And if we select a featured image, let's go to upload, hit select files, and we will click on this image right here as our featured image. Set featured image. Okay, let's add new category. We would just call this one city. And so instead of changing this to image, we're just going to leave it as standard. And we'll be adding some pictures here, but first let's just publish it and just show you what the thumbnail is going to look like. So publish, then let's take a look at our actual site. Okay, so here we go. So as you can see, we have a featured image, but because this blog post is set as standard and not image, this shows the title as well as this description, unlike these other posts. And if we don't want to show, because it's showing everything from this part from the body, maybe we only want to show one line, we can click this insert read more tag, and now it will only show this part in the thumbnail, and the rest they'll only be able to see by actually clicking on it. So it doesn't show too much right away if we don't want it to. So we'll just hit update, and now we'll hit refresh right here, and now you can see the excerpt only shows the first sentence and not this second sentence. Okay, so now let's add a gallery, and to do so we'll hit add media, and right here top left, create gallery, and for this we're going to use this image, and we're going to upload a couple other images as well. We will be using, let's see, this image, and we will be using this image. Okay, now they're all loaded. We'll hit create new gallery, and here we can actually change the order or delete some if we realize after the fact we don't want all of these. So I want to change the order, so I'm just going to click it and drag it so that the featured image is the last image. I don't want it to be super redundant. And I'll hit, well, before I hit insert gallery, I'm going to actually change the size from thumbnail to large, so that when they're showing up on the page, they're not just showing up as just these tiny little things, that they're large. And columns, I'm going to change that to 1. So we could have it appear in 3 columns, but I just want it to appear in 1 column, column and have them be large size. Now I'll hit insert gallery, and there we have it. Even though this is showing as small, it should show up as large when we actually save these changes. So I'm going to save changes by hitting update. Now let's come back here, we'll hit refresh and click on the post, and so here we have the featured image, and then we have these images all from the gallery that we just added. Now if you were to click on one of these images, what this theme does by default is, let's click on it, it creates kind of its own page for each image. And the name of this image when I uploaded it was just, pretty much some random text, so it's not super desirable. What I would really like is to have it pull up a light box, and a light box is just, it's kind of like those little pop-ups that instead of having to take you to a whole another page that completely reloads, it just opens a little pop-up right here so that you can view the image and even scroll through to the other images, and that's what I would like. And so to get a light box for these images, I'm just going to install a certain plugin. Remember, plugins, if you can get to them by going to here, plugins, and then add new. And remember that they increase, functionality. They add functionality to your site. So I'm going to install a plugin that's going to allow us to have that light box functionality. And so add new. I'm going to search plugins right here. The name of the plugin I want is Responsive Lightbox by dfactory. So I'm just going to hit install now and activate plugin. And responsive just means that it will fit the width of the screen. So if my screen gets smaller, you can see this site is responsive, the words and such, and the actual layout changes a little bit so that it still looks good on the screen. And so this light box is also responsive. As it gets smaller, the pictures are still going to look good. So all I have to do for this plugin is activate it. That's it. I'm going to come back here and hit refresh. And now when I click on one of these images, you'll see here it's pulling up the light box. So instead of taking me to a whole nother page, it just pulls up the light box, and I can just hit exit here and very quickly see these pictures. And I can also scroll through them. So if I just click the right arrow, it will scroll to the next image. And yeah, it just makes it really easy, really clean, and the user doesn't have to reload a new page or anything. And again, they are responsive, so once they open the light box, if the screen were to get smaller, the picture or photo would adjust so that it's not being skewed or anything like that. So it'll still look good no matter what screen size, or even if they're on a phone or tablet. These photos are going to look good because of that responsive light box. I want to get this main page all complete, this part at least. So I'm going to delete this default hello world post, and I can do that just by going to posts, all posts, click on that, and then hello world. I'll just check that, or I don't even have to check it, I can just hit trash right here, and that's deleted. So now when I come back here, I'll hit refresh, and that post is gone. But in addition to getting rid of that, I also want to add more posts so that it looks more full and real. So I'll just go ahead and add some more just regular image posts, so I'm not going to bore you. I'll just go ahead and do that, and then when we come back, this should be a little bit more full. Hope everything's going well so far and that you're not falling asleep like this guy. If you've run into any issues so far, feel free to leave your questions in the comments. And if you think you'd benefit from more in-depth training on WordPress, check out my premium course at course.buildwithoutcode.com, where you'll learn all the ins and outs of WordPress, along with other web tips like SEO or how to make a logo. Alright, back to the course. As you can see, I've added some more image posts, so the site looks more full. And here in categories, you can see how the categories work now that we have a lot of different posts. So if I click on city, it only pulls up this post because this is the only post in the city category, and then beach, There's a lot of them. And also, if we click on just one individual post, so let's click on this one. We scroll down, here it shows the category it's in, and if we click on that, that will also take us to this beach category page. Below the logo on the sidebar, we have this link to sample page. If we click on it, it's just an example of a page, a sample page that comes preloaded. And so we can put in our own pages right here. And so a lot of websites will have the navigation bar kind of at the top where you click on different links to take you to different parts of the site. For this theme, it's right here on the side. And so we're going to delete this sample page and then put in a couple of our own actual pages. So to do so, we'll go back to the dashboard, click on Pages, All Pages, and the sample page, we're just going to hit Trash. Delete that one. And then we're going to add, first page we'll add is an About Me page. So let's hit Add New, and we'll just type in here About Me. And then I'm just going to add a picture of myself. So upload this image, insert it. Let's make it large or full size. Okay, then below it I'll add a little blurb and hit publish. Okay, now let's go back to the site, and you can see the sample page is gone. Now we just have this link to the About Me page. If we click on that, it takes us to this About Me page with this image and a short little bio about myself. Another page we want to create is a frequently asked questions page. So let's go back to the dashboard, Pages, Add New, and we'll type in here frequently asked questions, and let's paste some of those and publish that. Now right here we can click View Page, and here are some frequently asked questions, and you can see it appears here in the navigation bar on the left. One thing we do want to do maybe is to bold the actual question so that it's easy to see what is the question and what is the answer. So we'll go back to Edit Page, and I'll highlight the question part, hit bold, highlight the question part, Command B on Mac or Control B, just like with Microsoft Word, will also make it bold. So I'll get those bold, hit Update to save the changes, go back to View Page, and now it's a little bit easier to decipher what is the question and what is the answer. The last page I want to create is a Contact Me page. So we'll go back to the dashboard, Pages, Add New, and I'll just put Get in Touch. And I'm just going to put phone number and email so they can reach out, to hire me as their photographer or whatever it may be. And I actually want these to stand out more, so I want them to be a little bit bigger, not just regular paragraph size. So if I click on Toolbar Toggle, it shows me a few more options here in the editor, and I'm going to highlight this and change it to a heading 5. And then let's just hit preview first, actually. And so here we are, we can see the phone number and the email. But in addition, I want to add a contact form so that they could use that if they want to. So I'll just hit Save Draft, and then I'll go to Plugins, Add New. And so we can just add a plugin that will make it very easy for us to create a nice little contact form. And so the contact form is, the plugin for the contact form is called Very Simple Contact Form. Obviously it's very simple and it works very well. Install now. Activate plugin. And so this is the contact form. It says use shortcode contact right here to display form on any page or use the widget. And so basically we have to just paste this contact within the brackets within any page, and it will display our contact form for us. So I'm just going to copy that. Let's go back to pages. You can see this is a draft, it's not published yet. We'll click on it to edit. So right under the phone number and email, I'm just going to paste that contact, and this is pretty much alerting the plugin saying, hey, put that contact form here on this part of the page. So let's hit publish, and we'll hit view page, and there we go. We have the phone number, email, and then this nice little contact form. Very easy, obviously, and then get in touch is here on the left, and by default it will send, when someone fills this out, it will send this information to the email you used when you first installed WordPress. And you can actually just change that by going to users and then click on user, and you can change the email here. So this is the email that will receive any information that people fill out in that contact form. And just keep in mind that every once in a while this email that they fill out in the contact form will go to your spam folder. So if you're testing it out and you're not seeing the information sent to you, check your spam folder. It might be there. This main portion is now complete, so we can start customizing this sidebar. So up here we could actually put our own logo in here, and to do so we could either go to customize right here or go back to the dashboard and then go to appearance and then click on customize. Either way, it'll take us to here where we can make some customizations to the theme, and here it's showing kind of in real time the changes that we'll be making. So site identity, we could change the wording that appears up there, our site title. We can change the accent color, some menus, widgets, and then here the logo, we could upload our own logo when it would replace this right here. However, I actually like it, so we'll just keep that. Under this navigation bar with the links to the other pages, we can see we have a search form, archives, categories, meta. And so what these are called widgets. So they're pretty much islands of information or functionality. So you know, the search form kind of does its own thing. It doesn't really rely on archives or the navigation bar up here. It's kind of its own island of functionality, and it lets us search for different things on the site. Well, there's some of these widgets that we don't really want. So for instance, archives, I don't want this to display, so I'm going to get rid of this widget. And to do so, we'll go back to the dashboard. We could also go to widgets right here, but within the dashboard, if we go to appearance and then widgets, here we can see we can change the order. So I could put search bar at the bottom. We can also get rid of other ones or add other ones, and to do so we just drag it on, and then when we click this little arrow over here, we can customize the widget, and based on the widget it will be customized differently. So all we're going to do is drag archives off of here, drag meta off, and so now we just have categories and search. So now when we go back to the site, here we have it just like we want it. We have logo, navigation, and then the categories here at the top so that people can easily find the type of post or photo that they're looking for. And then here at the very bottom, sorry, well, not quite at the bottom, at the very bottom we have just this information about our site, but right here the lowest widget is just this search bar. So you know, I could search Los Angeles and it will show anything that is relevant to what I've typed in. The last thing we're going to do is add one more plugin, and this plugin is going to help make it easy for people to call or email us when they're visiting our site on a mobile device. And you'll see what it does in just a second. So we'll go to Dashboard, Plugins, Add New. Here in the search bar, we'll type in Call and Book Mobile Bar. That's the name of this plugin. Hit Install Now and Activate Plugin. So we have to do a few things just to customize it. So we can either hit settings here, or now that it's installed, if we go to our settings here on the left, there will be this Colin Book mobile bar. So click on that. And so let's add the phone number, and make sure to add your country code before. So for the United States, 1, and then area code, and then 555-5555. Great. And so in addition to having this button, well, so it's going to have this button where if they click on it, it will automatically call this number. Or they can click another button, and we can have it be a button to make it for them to book something or schedule an appointment, whatever it may be. We're just going to have this other button just go to our frequently asked question page. So I'm just going to put facts, and then I need to put the URL for the frequently asked question page right here. So let me just go grab that, come to our facts page, copy the URL, paste it in there, and the icon for this frequently asked question button will be just an info icon, and then an email address, because there's also a button for them to easily send us an email. So they'll just click the email, and then it will open up their email client with this email address already preloaded. So we'll just hit save, and then let's go back to our site. And so if we want to preview what our site will look like on a mobile device, if you're using Google Chrome, and I highly recommend you use Google Chrome for development because it just has a lot of friendly developer tools, we can just right click anywhere on the site, click inspect element, and I have this toggled. So by default, if I hit inspect element, it'll pull this thing up, and if I hit this right here, this little phone icon, then it will give me a preview of what your website is going to look like on a smartphone. And so you can change this up here to be whatever device you want. Let's do iPhone 6, and then Command R, Control R to refresh it. And so here we have kind of an emulation of what our site would look like on an iPhone 6. So again, this is a good reason to use Google Chrome because they have these free developer tools, so you can test things like this where you can see what your site will look like on a smartphone. And as you can see here at the bottom, we now have a call now button, a button to send email, and this fax button. And so if they click this, it will allow them to easily call us. If they click this, easily email us, and if they click this, it will take them to the frequently asked questions page. So that plugin added this little bar here at the bottom for mobile phones, and you know, it really helps so that it makes it really easy for prospective clients to call us or email us or see the frequently asked questions. So you know, it makes it really easy for them to get in touch with us, hire us, and yeah. So that's what that last plugin does for our site. You should now know everything you need to know to make this entire site from scratch. And if you ran into any issues along the way, feel free to leave your questions in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. And if you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, or comment on the video. It really helps a lot, and the more activity there is, the more videos I'll make. If you're looking for more training on how to use WordPress, I teach a premium course that goes very in depth on how to use all the different ins and outs of WordPress, as well as other web tips like SEO or how to make a logo. So if you're interested in that, you can go get it at course.buildwithoutcode.com or by following the link in the description. Thanks again for watching, and best of luck.